morning. It's 7:14. The date is March 15th, 2021. I don't know what's going on with these videos. I keep saying, I swear, there's they used to tell me there's so many books, so little time. There's so much to do. And it just keeps getting harder, obviously. But you don't know this stuff. It's like my father says. In fact, that's what I'm going to start calling him. My father. It's my father again. One of the common things he would mention over the years is, Nick, I always felt like there would always be tomorrow. I could always make more money. So if I lost a few bucks gambling or I lost a few dollars here, I could always make more money. And apparently that isn't so true. I don't know what I'm doing with these videos. I'm serious that I keep making these videos, but then I don't even have an option to upload. So I think this is going to be my last without actually making, unless I'm going to sit down for an hour or less and document my life. Because I find I get too emotional sometimes. And so there's so little time. And so I'm really gonna start to edit these, and I don't have time for this. I don't have time for anything. All I can say is thank God. I don't know. I never used to appreciate waking up knowing that I don't have that in my life anymore. No matter what, I don't care what happens. There's just I mean, I am dealing with so much stuff. I'm not trying to, I don't want to be a whiner. There's a lot of crap going on in the world, but man, it's kind of like Dad said, or my father. It's my father again. I knew he would go the way he went. I knew he would. It truly goes back, folks. I am more convinced than ever that people are only doing that. People are doing everybody. I don't care who it is. If they don't have some skin in the game, if they don't have any money involved, they don't care. If it doesn't involve sex, politics, religion, they're not. Everybody's doing something for a reason. There's just no question. And you say you just figure, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was so naive. I was so naive and such a good kid. And I was, like I like to say, red-shirted. They redshirted me all my life, kept me in the reserves. Didn't tell me anything, really. Kept me safe. No, they couldn't anymore, I guess. But I woke up again with my 10 fingers and my 10 toes. But I'm old. I don't know. What can I say that I haven't said that nobody's listening anyway? So unless I'm gonna just start using my own recording equipment. Well, I mean, according to my views, nobody's watching, which is what you would expect. Even my own father doesn't care because he doesn't have any skin in the game. He don't. And once I told the truth, he ran like a cat on a hot tin roof. Doing the same thing. Do you notice that? Just like my mom, when there was not a crisis involved, well, his old hokey doke game, his baloney, didn't work on me. What did he do? He ignored me. I mean, sure, he called a couple times, but that was just to see if his old hokey doke was gonna maybe go through. You know? I mean, it's unreal how selfish, how crazy people. Boy, it's a good thing you're. Well, the last thing a guy would want right now is to be high and dry, huh? Oh, them, whoever they is, boy, they'd have a day with you, huh? I'm frustrated because I feel like, I don't know, like yesterday, I tried to. So, what I was doing yesterday was obviously, I was just curious if I could, because what I wanted to do was be able to use this. Look at that cool thing, it's pretty cool. I wanted to use this once in a while as a home webcam because it's so cool. The latest technology. It would look really, really nice every once in a while. In other words, what I wanted to do was not run it on battery. I wanted to run it from my computer or as a webcam. But the software, which I cannot believe is beta, unlike me, I'm not a beta male, remember? Even more of a alpha male than little bad boy. See, I gotta stop that because I'm getting too old. I don't know who that is really, and he might be really big. And I'm too old to fight anymore. I feel like it, but I know better. So I'm gonna be more. I gotta be careful. I'm too old. Well, not too old, but yeah. I never had to fight in my life. I've never been in a fight in my whole life. It's the one little time, one of my friends got his panties all in a bunch and got upset at me because I was making him cry or something. I don't even know how I did that. The software is beta. Now you have some basic editing software that will work, but there's some sort of beta software and because it's beta software, the transition between whatever streaming certificate, whatever it is called, that goes to, for example, YouTube here. If I installed, look, I know it's not that simple or it's not that tough. Okay, but I'm just your average duck. I'm not technical. I was not raised. I'm lucky I learned how to type. And now you don't even need to know how to type. It's all audio voice. Okay? So I finally got the software working, the beta. It's not even official software, and I never, as a rule of thumb, I don't care what company you are, if you've got beta software, I'm not testing it for you, I ain't playing with it, it's not going on my system till it's been released. This was the first time, because I was so excited, I couldn't believe it was beta software. I went ahead and did it. And now I found out why it's beta. Because it doesn't transition well between the programming. It was not simple to go from, at least it was not intuitive to go from the GoPro software, which I only got it on one computer, even not even on the computer I wanted it on. And so am I going to sit there a whole nother day? Because that wasn't my reason for the camera anywhere. But it would have been nice if it would have been simple. You just click a button. Okay, now I'm on the GoPro webcam. Now I'm on the YouTube webcam. Now I'm on the Facebook webcam. And so somehow the beta GoPro software took over my, well, it didn't take over, but it's beta, so it didn't automatically. Yeah, you could go in there and figure it out, but look, the kids grow up. The kids are doing pro. The kids are doing programming software on these little things. I've got guys from Harvard, Stanford, doing forensic counting from one of these things. And you wonder why I'm sitting around going, what should I do today? No, you're not. It certainly is not doing anything outside of that. That I know. Okay, I've been pissing in the wind long enough. Pisseth against the wall. The King James. I like that one. What's one of your favorites from the? Because see, you ain't gonna get that stuff from any other Bible. That's one of the pisseth against the wall, or what's the other one? Oh, there's the two or three of them that are you're just like, yeah, that's the King James. There is so much chaos. My parents, the way my mother's behaving, I'm scared to lose my mom. Even though I am very upset and I have not talked to her for basically 5 years. And being a mama's boy, seeing your mom every few days or talking to her on the phone, it's not been easy. You seem a little irritated. Yeah, I'm a little irritated. Nothing too bad though. I'm irritated. I just don't know what to do. I want to do something I don't know. And I waited. It's kind of like Daddy said, my father. It's kind of like my biological sperm donor. My father said, I always felt like I. No, I mean he started saying that in the last few couple 5 years. He's like, I always thought I could make more money, Nick. And I'm thinking, I thought I could always learn something when I needed to, whether parents don't last forever or maybe you want to get a little more serious about 1 acre power water. Maybe you find a half the kingdom that'll give you a half a go if you had a little something going on. Hey, all right, I can find something that isn't digging ditches. Or you find one, hey, you want to take a chance, try. I mean, you might want to talk to a gal once in 20 years before you die. And maybe but I don't know I don't know. I guess I'm learning the hard way, but you'd say it'd be natural just to do accounting, but not when you got 28, well, probably you got 22-year-old kids sitting in there and they're so smart. They can play video games, program computers, eat Cheetos, smoke pot, probably do other drugs, drinks all day long. And then in their spare time, they send rockets to the moon with one of these things. And they mostly all hate me anyways, because I got one of them Bibles. And you want me to work on an Excel spreadsheet? Sure, it's noble. It's anything is better than losing that. I mean, you say okay, but I'm saying what's gonna really make a difference? I mean, I've been pisseth against the wall long enough, and now my father showed his true colors too. I knew he would. It's He's concerned about his and his. There's no sex involved. There's no money. There's no power. Well, there was power, you know. Sure, he called a couple times, but he didn't want to. As soon as I tried to tell to confront him about what he was saying to me, he wanted nothing to do with it because it wasn't part of his old hokey doke bull butter. And now I can't even get him to talk. I knew he'd do that. Been doing it to me all his life, and he won't unless there's something really involved for him. He's never wanted anything to do with me. It was always about child support. It was always about something that he could get from me. And in his case, it was getting out of child support. Other than that, he called me once on my birthday. He never wants to talk about anything of substance, ever. It's his old hokey doke. And as soon as his old hokey doke don't work, I mean, he's gone quicker than a cat on a hot tin roof. So I don't know. I'm talking about survival here. This isn't about how do I figure out today to get away with having a beer and not getting arrested. I'm saying what's going to matter in 10,000 years? What am I going to do to survive? Yeah, I waited, but I sure as hell ain't jumping in no 6 foot hole and gonna let some little guys whistling outside my house bother me. I don't know. and I'm on my own, basically. Pretty much. Could be one or two. I don't know. I don't know. Could be one or two people left in this world. It's tough to tell. Real tough. I don't know what's going on with mom. Man, I don't even know her. She has checked out like 5 years ago. I can't believe her. Like, I know I mean, she doesn't even. She don't. She can't even. She doesn't even want to talk about the weather. I don't know. Mm, man, faith in God. I guess I really never felt in life like that's almost pretty much. And I could be. I could even be wrong. That's all I got. I mean, if your own father won't, and he's not that nice of a guy, trust me. Things like predator, Trump, those words start coming to mind. Just saying. And now you blow me off. I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't trust you. I don't know. It's so complicated. I don't have any. I don't know. I don't even want to talk anymore. I got so much to even. I don't feel like talking anymore. There's nothing to talk about. Really. I feel like it's all pretty much a waste of breath at this point. If you can't figure out how to make, if I can't figure out how to make enough money to get a half the kingdom, it's not worth talking about. If my study won't produce the fruit to get the job, to get a woman that I'm in love with, that I would want to be married to for the rest of my life, if it's not getting me towards that, then to me it doesn't matter if I sit around and waste. I mean, I wasted 4 or 5 hours the whole day. It was a Sunday, whatever. But again, my instincts were right. I knew better than to mess with that beta software, because then all I ended up having to do is uninstall it. Sure, it was only a few hours, but I mean, I could have been doing something else that would have been a lot more productive. And I already knew it wasn't going to work out. But I went against my better judgment. Yeah, if you were a programmer, no big deal. You would have figured out where to go inside the programming, wherever it is, and you would have just had to manually go in and change it. But I don't know where that is, and I don't have time to read. Figure it out. I thought it would be nice to have, every once in a while, use it as a webcam and then go back to my YouTube or Facebook, and it just wouldn't automatically go back. I don't know. So I just had to uninstall it, right? And this ain't helping. But I ain't trimming this either. It's not if I want this to go stay away. I mean, the only reason I'm talking is because I feel like it's the only possible way that there could be anybody, whether they're secretly listening or it's law enforcement. Because I almost feel like being too quiet would just present an opportunity for weirdos to be outside my house howling on a Friday night. They did it a couple weeks. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, what can I do to get what can I get what can I do to get closer to my life worth living? I don't know. I could do the little bit with school, and I'm gonna forget it all. It's all just another book report. It's a waste of time, but I gotta get there to. So I guess until I get done with that, I'm not gonna worry him. I'm not gonna. You know, it's my life, though. My life matters to me. I don't care if you went to Stanford. I don't care how fast you are. There's just no motivation anymore. Without knowing, I mean, I don't care. And that's the last thing you want to tell a red coat guy like a red coat in red territory. The last thing you want to say to them people is, hey, I'm not real motivated, without a half the kingdom there to wake every day. Yeah, you don't, that's about the last thing you want to tell them. I know that. But it's the truth. And each day it's more and more like Avis says. I've got Avis told me a couple years ago she got, and I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. She's like, you get to a point in life, Nick, where you just don't care. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get to that point. She's like, you will when you get older. And so I think you stop doing things that aren't helping. You outright refuse to do things that aren't getting you towards your goals. And I guess I waited too long. Which is fine. And maybe that's why I'm having these problems with punks want to tell me what to do with my garbage and extra trouble. Okay. But I still don't think I deserve it. There's a lot of guys like me in the world, a lot worse, that weren't able to completely become self-sufficient, and they weren't only childs, and they weren't red-shirted all their lives, and they didn't sit they didn't make 1,000 pizzas in their family business. They didn't a day. They didn't spend 15 years in a health club running around like a gerbil on a hamster either. They didn't live my life, and they screwed up real bad. And they probably didn't even care. It does. It boils down to I only got so much time, so many books, so little time. What do? I got to get off of here and try and do something, but it's just you always thought you could make more money. You always thought there'd be time and energy. And then you get old, and when there's not money, sex, power, when there's none of that involved, you're nothing but an expendable. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just making you aware that I finally am aware of what's going on. And thank God that I'm not in a position where my soul can go to hell. That's the only thing. My relationship with God. Finally, God kept me. I was conscious enough to be aware that there was chaos, and this was not the normal chaos. This was different, and I knew I knew this time I had to stay in there. No matter what, I knew I had to stay in there to go to heaven. And in the past, I didn't always do that because I had sort of an okay life, and I had fun. I had a lot of fun. Too much fun. Cost me. Cost me a lot. But I was aware that I'm telling you that you just can't explain it till you live it and understand it. It don't matter what the chaos is going around. Don't matter who chief is, who the boss is, how many deputies they got. I'm in there, and I don't care what they do. I mean, I care, but I can't. I'm not in charge. But I got no power. I don't worry about it. And if I was out of there, I'd be out of my mind. I'd be bananas. Mama would have got her one last run, two-fisted. She'd have got up the gumption to get in her car that one last time. Get her two-fisted cigarettes and her coffee going, boy, and she'd be having a conversation with somebody. Not happening. No way. I've learned my lessons. And there is a peace again. Even though I don't know how I'm gonna make a wheelbarrow full of $50 bills for a loaf of bread. But I know I'm not getting out of there no matter what. Because I know at least that's my opening argument. That's my opening argument when I go to trial with the devil before God. That's the first thing I'm bringing up. And then I'm gonna bring up that and say I never did that. Never did that, God. And then you know me, I can find plenty to talk about, but it ain't paying the bills. It's not getting me closer to half the kingdom in my arms. Little kissy, smoochy, smoochy, little sweet nothings in her ear. No. I'm not trying to brag, but I just want anybody that might be secretly listening, any law enforcement, the serenity I finally experienced, the calmness in the storm. It's incredible. Where normally every other time, whether mommy was mean to me or daddy wouldn't talk to me, I'd say, oh, well, I know how to fix this. I can feel better. I just need a six-pack of banquet beer. That'll make me feel better. No, that will invite the devil over because sin croucheth at the door. And it's all over. Because if you're one of them peculiar people, I don't know, for some reason he don't like that stuff. You know? Just because he put marijuana here, it's natural. There's a lot of crap here that ain't. There's a lot of crap, a lot of animals that I don't know. You might eat them. They might eat them over in China, but I ain't eating them. Not all animals were meant to eat. Not all things were meant to be used. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it was meant to be. or it was okay with God, or it was designed that way. He put things here that weren't necessarily to be touched. Goes right back to the garden. I'm pretty sure marijuana's one of them. I don't care what you say. Remember my first experience? I almost got kidnapped. And it looks like they're still trying to make good on that. Even my old ugly. Maybe if I grow up my beard, they'll best be like, man, that he is so ugly. I don't care how much. This ain't about power anymore. I don't even want to touch him. I mean, I don't know if that old Nambla network is. They put me up on the shelf there for 30 years, and you got some creeper guy in some castle somewhere saying, "Hey, yeah, I mean, I'm in my 80s now, so old Nicky boy, he don't look too bad. You think I'm playing, don't you? Human trafficking, big business. Hey, I'm in there, folks. I don't care what else happens today. I don't care what the wicked do. I don't care anything. I'm still in there. I ain't going out of there. Whew. I'm not involved in AA or any official recovery, but I just hold that up to remind anybody that gets any funny ideas. I'm staying right in that God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. You ain't gonna find Nicky Boy out of there. Still like naked ladies, but we ain't getting out of there ever. Hmm. It's tough being a turtle. It ain't easy being cheesy. It ain't easy being a turtle. The only thing that gives me comfort is that turtle beat, you remember the cartoon. Slow and steady won the race. The turtle beat the hare. Yep. Yeah. I used to get worried when the police would show up, or the secret police would show up, or I'd be out, and because I wasn't in there, you see. I wasn't in there completely in my mind. I may have not been doing it, remember? But I gave up. I gave up all reservations with this, and finally got removed. Not that I really ever had much of a problem. It caused me problems. I could go months and years, but when I would do it, hey, hey, you ain't. I need, I don't need one or two of them. I need about eight. I get make sure you got an 18 pack there. I mean, I'm not even gonna start that. You know. So I don't know what's going on again, and I know it's tough for a guy like me to make, especially with the guy in the. But it's tough for me to make an argument. Everybody just says, "Oh well, it's you." No, it's not me. The road to life is narrow, broad to destruction. Oh, I'm experiencing it. There's a great falling away. All the people The devils have convinced everybody that they're the normal ones. And then all it takes is a little frustration, or you say something, and then you give them more ammunition to prove their case. So I guess all you can do is try to be cool, remain calm, and realize you're mostly outnumbered. And only by the grace of God, we keep plugging away. But it really it comes down it all boils back down to, and I'm not talking about just having a girlfriend. I'm talking about having a wife, a family, children, grandchildren of and now that I've expressed it so much, it almost feels it's almost like impossible to even would be. It's almost impossible to trust anybody. But I guess at least maybe I can survive. I think that's the goal. Maybe people will see inside who I truly am, what truly goes through my mind, and realize I'm not executable. I guess I should be happy with that because I don't want anybody. I really, unless they've already pitied me, unless I've got some people that have pitied me all my life and I didn't know about it. Okay, you can keep pitying me. I mean, you're the ones who have kept me alive. But if there's new people that would want to pity me and be help me or love me because they feel sorry for me, not interested. But I do want to live, and I want weird stuff to stop happening. So is it possible? I don't know. Doesn't seem to be. I mean, the only thing that gives me hope is I still got all 10 fingers, 10 toes. Nobody's been allowed to cut my tongue out. Okay. That's mostly healed. No open skin conditions. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go try. You know, I gotta download the manually because I've got Norton just for all y'all that have. Oh, and if you ever want to check in on me, if anybody questions if I've done anything goofy or funny on my computers, yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough to frame me there too because I'll just Norton Security. I've had them for 20. So if you go back in the last couple, you ain't gonna find nothing in the last year. No naked ladies. Okay. Every move, and I got the family. So I've got the child stuff on there too. So they've got the extra forensics going. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't stop above the law, but anybody other than that, they're not gonna be able to create any fraud. So what happens though is I'm just figuring that out. I mean, it locks it down like Fort Knox, and so you can't hardly do anything. So you got to go in, and then you got to go in each time and change the setting so you can. So I can't even upload GoPro. Norton Security is blocking my like I can't. I have to manual update it. Well, I don't have to, but I've exceeded the amounts. I can't even get in the Norton software now because I went in there so many times. I gotta wait. I don't know. It's been 24 hours. Normally, I could have went in there and changed it, and then I could have just updated it through my phone. But so now that's why I had to go to Office Max and get the. Well, actually, I didn't need to because it's right on here. I didn't know this come with a thing. I got a slot right there, so I can actually return this. What is this thing? I don't know what that is. Says it runs 50 things. I don't know. It's kind of big. It's kind of cumbersome. Seems a little large. But I didn't know it. This here come. That's all I really needed right there. So so I'm gonna update the software and gotta go write another stupid Apple paper. Finish that. Yay, Nikki's sitting around writing a stupid paper that's not gonna matter in 10,000 years. Yay. Well, at least we're keeping him busy. At least we're occupying him. We know he's not out causing any trouble. Give him something to do. Yay. Can I go fishing with half the kingdom yet? This beard is not going to help me get a date. Not that I ever plan on getting a date in this town, but it's not helping. It don't help you make friends either. Or it doesn't help people give you sympathy. Now there's a difference. Look, I'll take all the sympathy, I guess, because you need that to survive. But the pity, I don't know, the pity is more we feel outright. It's sympathy to me would be more like, yeah, you probably didn't deserve all this crap. And we're sorry that happened. So we're gonna, we're not gonna share. We're not gonna eat salad with you, but we're gonna say if we're gonna talk to a few people and make sure this shit stops. Whereas pity is more like we actually feel like we're good people, but we actually think you're actually just probably deserve that. But we're good human beings, and we feel sorry for you, and so we want to help you. Yeah, I'm not looking for that. Because I don't know, it's so complicated. Again, it goes back to not really getting in where you fit in. I don't fit in anywhere. I can't get in where I fit in anymore. And you say, well, then it's pretty obvious what you got to do. If you can't dig ditches, you're not. I mean, why would I want to hang out with? What am I going to do with Father Mark? He can't even be honest. He still wants to talk about golf, and he's in his own world, just like everybody else. And now he's old, so he wants to enjoy that little bit left he's got in his mind, and he don't want to think about all the shit he pulled. Wants to keep blaming other people. And then he wants to blow me off too. I knew he would as soon as I told the truth. Yeah, this doesn't help make it makes people nervous, especially in today's society. It's too masculine. I mean, you can't have a beard mostly unless you talk like this and you're real gentle and you just be real careful and you keep it real trimmed. I'm just talking to you in my real regular voice. I'm not trying to have a deep voice or act tough or anything. It's just my voice. I don't know. How do I survive? How do I survive without feeling like people without getting framed and going to without them framing me, without without them conveniently saying, we just I don't know what they do. That well, you're their lab rat. I've been what have I been a double blind all my life? But I know I got to keep this beard going for this to come. I mean, it keeps it's slow going, but it just each day I think it is just a even if it's just a it keeps softening up, and every time I would shave, it just not good. I think the trick though is to figure out, in 13 years from now, when I get sick of talking and people, I don't know that's where the meeting at Embers for pancakes once in a while helps, right? Because you get lonely. Yeah, I mean, you can be tough for a while. Mama can blow you off. Daddy can play in his own little mind. And then you get lonely, and then the brain starts to play tricks on you. And the devil's out. The devil's around the corner there doing push ups, waiting for you, just waiting. Real patient, too. Waiting for you just to go because you did it 1,000 times. Oh, come on, I can get it. 118 pack ain't gonna hurt me, right? That's the key. Because then you're bored, you're off on a card, going to a casino because you ain't got nobody to talk to. You're bored. Nobody cares. What the hell's the difference? Well, the difference is they're watching you on every little phone and microphone, and there'll be a trooper there within about 5 minutes. So I guess some people, by the grace of God, figured that out maybe. And hopefully I can, like I said, I feel in my mind. That's all I can say. It's reservations. They say you had to get. I remember that over all the years. They said you got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of the idea. you got to remove all reservations of using and of ever having a beer, no matter how big your problem was, how many times you did it. You got to get to a point where you're okay in your mind of never doing it again. And I went through many, many years where I always thought, hey, 10 years from now, hey, I don't need to think. No, I'm thinking 100 years from now, I'm thinking, I've had enough. I've drank enough beer. I've had enough beer and enough problems that I don't need it anymore and I don't want it. Finally, took me 40 some years. But you see, people lose that mentality. And then they never have another, what they call recovery in them. Right. I got one more drunk in me. Might have one more drunk, but I ain't got one more recovery maybe, so I'll stay in there. And then nobody in the whole world likes you either? Nope. Well, there might be one or two, maybe. Yeah, buddy. I mean, you better stay in there. And then everything's changed too. The way people think. The way you think that used to be normal, they used to be halfway normal, is considered extreme racism or hateful bigotry. But it's okay for these redcoats to do it as long as they can take care of them. They're in their networks and they got skills, sex, power, religion, something. I don't know. But they want nothing to do with me. So you say, well, it's pretty simple which direction you're going, son. Not really. The nice thing is, though, apparently it seems to be mostly, though, I still have what I need. So we got 5 stories narrowed down to 2 here at least. At least God is making sure that I got what I need. Or there's somebody just trying to make me comfortable so I get out of here. Because I can't believe that I ain't got out of there yet. And whatever they was trying wasn't working. So they said, well, what else can we do here? Let's get him as comfortable as possible. Make sure he gets everything he needs so he'll forget that he's in here. I don't know. Hopefully it's God is just saying, I'm gonna meet your basic needs. We're not buying or doing anything or asking for anything that we don't need. Even the beard. you know. I'd like to trim it, but apparently God does not want me to trim my beard. I mean, I have such a greater appreciation for some understandings in life too, though. So I guess there was some good that came out of it, even though my doggy had to get hurt pretty bad. And you said, "Well, wasn't gonna kill her, but hey, those were three pretty. Those are pretty deep flesh wounds. They had to hurt pretty bad. I wouldn't want to do that. And again, anybody that would do that, God help your soul. The worst of the worst. That's even that's even worse than sodomy and homosexuality in my book. That's about as bad as you can get when you a tiny little dog that ain't hurting nobody. Yeah, it's amazing how the weak actually prey on the weak because they're weak. I didn't understand that. So many things I don't understand in life, but with all their secret cameras and secret microphones and monitoring and again they're doing the same exact things, way worse actually in a lot of cases, but yet they're just looking for a scapegoat. Yeah, parents let you down, friends the whole world let you down, but I guess it's a good place to start from. I mean, that you can't really go any farther down than 6 feet in a hole, so or 6,000 feet in my case, probably. I truly am really grateful that God has it just removed all desire for that for sure, and just because I wouldn't have been able to deal with it. And it's not even about being an alcoholic. It's just there's something about alcohol that it just creates a once you interrupt that time you have. I don't know. There's an extra special connection. I don't know. I think, and it's unique to everybody. I guess you work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what your cross to bear. I guess is different than everybody else's. Similar in a lot of ways too, but uh, different in many ways. Like I said, there's nothing new under thunder. So it's a lot of stuff we do is common, but like I said, I mean, why on earth of all places? The only reason I came up here was to be close to Mom and Madeline. Only reason was to make it easier so I could enjoy my every other weekend with my daughter, Madeline, so that Mom wouldn't have to drive over to New Hope with Madeline, because by the time she'd get over there, she's ready for a nap. She's tired, all stressed out, and then we mostly would go up to Grantsburg, or we would go up to Tanger's in North Branch, or we, get some food, walk around. And I mean, it turned, so I'm like, well, hey, let's try that. And I'm like, I came up here for nothing but trouble. Thinking, oh, it's a conservative. Well, boy, I guess I bit off more than I could chew in one sense. I mean, I'm thinking it's a old kind of conservative, little bit member. Boy, I mean, how I got myself into this one. And it was near impossible. We almost didn't even get into this fight. We almost didn't even get during that. So, I mean, it took a lot of persuasion. I don't think that. I don't think. I'm not thinking it. I don't know. I don't know if it was God's original plan for me to be anywhere near this town. I'm thinking it was. It was. I just can't. I just can't do crap anymore that don't pay me, or doesn't isn't something I enjoy, or isn't making me a better person, or isn't furthering my knowledge in an area that contributes to something. I literally, and it's strange how that works, eh? I mean, all you got to do is write two or three more papers, and I mean, to graduate from college, and you almost are like, I don't even care. I got all that way, and you're like, no, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I can't barely do it. I can barely write another stupid paper because I'm slow to begin with, anyways, and it takes me two or three times as long as you. Mm, I don't know. I'm thinking I do not have the $50 a month for this. So plus I don't like the idea of getting butt hurt. And I'm pretty sure the only way God's gonna make a covenant with the butt hurt guys is if you stay in here. You could pretty much probably avoid the butt hurt if you're in there. I still can't get over I'd say the most major theme that of all the chatting over the years. Why a world or a society or would be concerned about the and it's only by design. Because again, it's okay for Big Don, it's okay for everybody else, but if a poor guy wants to get a half the kingdom, 18 to 30. Oh, 18? Oh, you're a pedophile, aren't you? Nope. Prepubescent children do nothing for me. But you're like, in a world where they've made sodomy normal, I mean, literally, even among your people that aren't homosexual, where if you even talk like I'm talking, you're the abnormal one. But a heterosexual male, it would not be natural that he would be he could possibly, not that he could get it, because they're really men or. But if you could get an 18-year-old or 18, 20, 30, that would be pedophilic. But never mind, go ahead, go screw in the butt. We don't care. That's normal. I'd say that's probably the number one theme that I take away from all the chat that I just blows my mind. I mean, what better way to turn what's up is down, left is right? But at least I know in my mind, it doesn't matter how many of them try to convince me otherwise, or how many they got against me, or how many people in power they can outright lie and fraudulent and they make. I know the truth. That's the other thing that you learn in all the years. No matter what to thine own self be true. Hey, as long as I know the truth, and nobody else wants to listen anyways, and they're just trying to hurt me, why should I waste any more time trying to tell them? I know what the truth is. That's all that matters. And the truth sets you free. And the truth Jesus Christ will will protect you as long as you're in here, no matter what they do. And that feels good. Doesn't pay the bills, but it feels good. Feels good to wake up and be one day further away from having taken a drink of beer. To have that life one more day away from me. It really does. The farther I get from it, the better I feel. Not gonna make me any faster, any smarter, but it might keep. It's gonna help keep me out of hell for eternity. And I understand I'm a unique situation, but don't forget there's a lot of people suffering out of jobs. There's so much going on and so many people. You know, it could be. You never know. I hope not. Could be the end of the line. But it doesn't scare me like it used to. There's nothing worse than being one of God's peculiar chosen people and knowing you're out of his will and those devils are closing in on you, looking for their opportunity to seize you. Boy, I mean, the Bible talks about that too. I don't know. My belly's full this morning, though. I had a couple scrambled eggs last night, so I think I'm just gonna have like a smoothie this morning. All right, some daily greens. It's tough though without a relationship with your mom. That one is really up. I mean, that one really is tough. And I understand why some family or people would be frustrated with me or irritated, or but again, I don't I don't think there's even a remote chance that I deserve all the crap I've been through. Not even close. With what everybody else is doing, no way. I guess I just don't understand life. Never really did. I was never really taught much. Learned through all the hard lessons. No father around ever. I mean, sure, Tom was around, but wasn't, he didn't teach me nothing, never talked about nothing. Gave me rides and said hi to me. My father never really talked to me. Even my mom never really. I mean, I learned things through the way she parented and how strict she was with certain things. But as far as having conversations about specific, never. I mean, I pretty much learned life all on my own. And that's why I never did really. So I'd say I probably didn't, given the discipline and no parenting, I think I did pretty well. Well, I don't even know why I'm even saying that anymore. I don't. Why do I feel like it still matters? You know what really scares me is the guy upstairs is about, for somebody who hasn't had a drink in 50 years and basically is a in general, I think we don't see the Bible and life the same way, but I mean, what more a person that doesn't drink alcohol and lives their life and likes to golf and it makes me pretty nervous to think the people that are after him. I mean, oh well, after him. I mean, the people that are coming up, they're gonna be our elders. I'm not bad mouthing him. I'm just saying he ain't opened the Bible in 50 years, and it ain't even drank. But all you know, imagine that a guy that doesn't drink, married to my mom, and even though my mom, hey, my mom's she was a pretty good gal, smoked cigarettes. She come from pretty good people. But for a guy that don't even drink to say, hey, I can't put up with women much anymore, I'm kind of done. Like I've been through this a couple times, and it's really expensive, and it's not worth the sex. And so I'm just gonna forget about women for about the next 50 years, and I'm gonna watch ESPN and eat food and stay sober. Go golfing once in a while, go fishing, hang out in a smoke-filled poker room on Christmas. I mean, and that's a guy who never did any drugs ever. They didn't even have them. Well, they had them, but they didn't. They weren't normal. They weren't available like that back then. I mean, you really had to be in the Hell's Angels. You really had to be a Dusty, right? And so for that guy to think that it just it boggles my mind that a guy who doesn't drink can be satisfied. And maybe that's why he's part of the. It ain't just me. That's part of the reason why he's so frustrated. Because when you get older and your body breaks down, you can't go golfing. Did we figure out who that guy is yet? But it just the idea that all my life is going to be is never is going to work. And sure, I guess maybe if you stay in here, maybe you're going to be able to push a little paperwork, but you still, because that's what he did for 50 years, push paperwork, went fishing, and ate food every day. But I mean, look, if you can't stay sober or find a way when you don't drink to even be, I mean, all girls are a little, they're girls. Look, we know it's better with them than without them. Or wherever this can't live with them, can't live without them. Now you can't live without them. I don't like that one. It's no fun without girls. There's no point. That how somebody in their life gets to the point where it's better just to leave my mother to go to push paper every day, to sit and watch ESPN for a few hours a day. Now don't get me wrong, it's better than being drunk, but that life, that whatever my mom could have been going through, why he couldn't have been emotionally there for my mother more, maybe instead of that remote, maybe that was the problem. And she didn't feel loved. And so she reacted in ways, and then he just like, but they were mature enough that they're still friends today, mostly because I think she, whatever she's trying to do with me. But that would be a life worth living. Sure, it's better than death, prison, or institution, but I don't think he was going that direction. Maybe death, alcoholism, I guess, maybe. Tommy, he'll always tell you, like, hey, I was one of those where it caused me a lot of problems. It wasn't like I couldn't not drink. It just seemed to cause me problems when I did it. Makes sense. Remember, the only thing more than alcohol in the Bible is fear. But to think that having more money, you say when you get old, when your body breaks down, to be able to go play poker more often, or play higher stakes, or take another trip, take another trip golfing on an airplane, or go sit on a beach in Florida to read a book. The idea that that is better than having a spouse and living in a cardboard box and eating ramen noodles and hot dogs for the rest of your life, I don't think it is, and I think that's why I don't know. But it kind of does. Again, I'm back to this whole idea of people getting divorced. That if the mostly normal people, if there is anything normal in our world society, if those people can't remain married and they find it more better for them to not be married and live their lives of what they like to do, and then apparently they have to, we all are human, we have, remember the carcass and the flesh, you're going to deal with that at some point. And if you're one of God's chosen peculiar people and you're not doing that with your wife or your husband, you're not going to like, it's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel, you're going to be uncomfortable with it. I guarantee it. And so you're saying it's better to do it without, to do it by myself every once in a while, because your body is not, your body is your body. It's called nature. It's better to do that than to figure out a way to realize that a woman is the most glorious thing God ever created. And she is to be loved and cherished and treated like a delicate flower, and that she has emotions and she's human and she has needs just like anybody else, and she's the most specialist thing there is. But somehow, men, how you could get to a point where you said, well, I got money, I got what I need, I got a job, I get to sleep, I get to wake up and play with my TV remote, and I get to go golfing once a couple times a week, I get to go on a fishing trip every 3 months, I get to go to Florida once a year, and you don't need a woman anymore? Are you gay? I'm thinking maybe you're gay. Not him. I'm just saying. But if we get to a point where, for the normal people, if they can't even stay married, like, where is the hope at all? And so it's discouraging. So you're right back. I guess you're back to being thankful for your raiment, your clothes, your water. You got clean water. You got some crackers to put in your stomach. You're not going to starve to death, but it's not a life worth living. And you say, well, where we're at in end times, you ought to be happy with that. At least you're not in jail, institution, or death. And you go, okay, well, sure. But it's hard to get motivated. It's hard to write another stinking Apple paper that's not going to matter in 10,000 years. And then you throw in a couple of days of messing with something that you just all you did was spin your wheels and you get a headache and you're just like, I just want to sit over in that chair and close my eyes and pray and read my Bible. Because getting up every day to the idea that, hey, oh, I get to watch a TV program. Maybe I gotta go to work though, 8 hours a day. Yeah, okay, it ain't digging ditches, but I gotta get up, I gotta go there, and I don't really like it, but I gotta eat. If they even got any more of those, they don't even have any more of them jobs. All the 6 footers took them. All the 6 feet, they're all gone. They're trying to. They say they're trying to bring them back. I don't know what they're doing. Doesn't look like it to me. And the little jobs we got, they shipping them over to North Libya on the phone calls. None of it. It don't make any sense to me. And when I talk about it, all they try to do is say you're crazy. Because why? Because I got weirdos howling outside my window. And you think I'm ever getting out of there? No, I'm not. I need the guy in the can to stay away from me. I need them kind of problems to not happen. I need to be able to go to the Home Depot and not think there's suspicious activity. I need little Matthew to leave me alone. Go do something else, Matthew. I need, I don't want any more problems. I don't want people outside my house howling. I don't want people hurting my dog. I guess if I can get there, I mean, maybe I can find something to do from home. Excuse me. But trusting anybody is near impossible. Even if a gal showed up in a dress with a salad with pennies in hand and them sticks, I mean, how do you know how would you know it's not a Delilah at this point? Seriously, How would you know it's not a Samson? How the hell could you know? Samson couldn't see it. Remember? Everybody's around him. It's like, Samson, you about to get a haircut, son. No, I'm not. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, she's so beautiful. I'll do anything she wants. What, Samson, she's about to cut your hair, boy. Nope. Don't worry about it. I don't see it. I don't know what you're on. Samson, we got 500 guys here watching this. She's about to cut your hair, man. We're trying to save your life here. And Samson's like, oh, go ahead. Let her cut my hair. I needed a haircut. How the hell would you even know anymore? They are powerful creatures. Like I said, I mean, anything that can bleed for 2 weeks and not die. I mean, you don't want to make that mad, but it seems impossible to not do that. And I guess that's why guys like Tom, they're like, most guys have alcohol to cover it up. They're like, and but I mean, seriously, if a guy like Tom gets with a gal like my mom, who, yeah, she's goofy, but she's a good person. At least I thought she was until 5 years ago. I guess she's developed her own mental problems. But how a sober guy could walk away, how things could get so bad for a guy who doesn't drink and who all around, I mean, is a good, other than he don't read the Bible and he don't see the Bible like any fundamental Christian. For all other intensive purposes, all other things being equal, I'd say he's probably among the best people in society. And if a person like that cannot stay married to a gal who all she does is smoke cigarettes and cook food for you and work and go fishing with you once in a while, and you get to a point where you're like, I don't want this anymore, I'm going, there's no hope. It's better for me to be alone. Not according to the Bible. But now I guess we're back to what pre-tribber says. He's got his marbles going already. He might have a beer at noon, I guess, when he goes fishing because he's rich. That's all he does is smoke cigarettes and go fishing and drink beer, and that's whatever. Do all things unto the glory of God. But old pre-tribber will say we're getting to a point. But he's still married. Well, I think he's married. He might be. I had a dream he got divorced. Did just another Christian on ChristianCC.com get divorced? I had a dream that he got a divorce because he was drinking too much beer. If we get to a point where people refuse to be married, that's selfish things. I don't know what can I do for God today? Not much. I'm not gonna go on Pal Talk and argue with other Christians, and there's nobody on there that wants to hear about God. And I don't want a headache. I don't want to talk to them people. Like I said, I mean, the only thing left is to sit with half the kingdom and go fishing. And realize that no matter how goofy she gets, there'll be times when she's not goofy, and there's no time to ever leave her for a remote control and a fishing trip, and then get old and die. I don't know. I'm running out of motivation though. I just can't figure out whatever jobs they bring back. The idea that I'm going to compete competitively at a level with accounting getting all automated. I don't know what I'm going to do. But at least I'm thinking about that and not getting a beer. I mean that's a plus. Man, like I said, I don't want to talk to. I mean, other than half the kingdom, I don't want to talk to anybody really. Unless they want to hear about the Bible or something, then I'll talk to anybody. But as far as just having a conversation, I mean, I got nobody to talk to except for half the kingdom and maybe some of her family. But I guess I just want, I guess maybe in case, so if there's any law enforcement trying to keep their baloney going, at least they got something, because if I go off the grid for too long, then they can start to go, well, we're not sure. Well, we don't know what's going on with this guy. And then we got people making reports. So I guess I still got to check in here and there so you can see that I'm mostly normal. Why does that guy look familiar? This is strange. This guy here looks familiar. That's a guy, isn't it? Imagine. Whew, look at that. So what does that say? Major health issues, grievous sores. Boy, that there almost seems like a grievous sore. Or sure could have been. Saturday 9:15. I just want to read stuff like this. I don't want to write. I'm starting to all them Apple papers, they're just distracting from you from this. That's all they were designed to do. You know, back when things were simple, when we could before the government made it so we could afford a farm, we could live on a farm and you could sell a little bit. You go out and work, and then you'd come in and read this, and then you'd sit with half the kingdom, and you'd go back out and work. I mean, what? God know what He's doing. God knew why He put this here on my face. It wasn't so I could get accused of having toxic masculinity. It's because apparently, I don't know what, but it's healing. This grievous sore is, it's just, the skin is just a little dry yet. I'm really in a conundrum because I really don't know if I want to give up that coffee. It's not. It's just. It's oily. It's not good. I don't think it's good for your guts. It's a young man's game. It's mostly a young man's game. If you drink enough of it, it's gonna bitter your stomach. The Mormons don't drink it. I think I'd rather give it up, but if I do, you ain't gonna ever hear me talking ever. I'm going to go over sit in that chair there. Forget them Lewis and Moore books. I don't have enough energy for that. But I'll be reading this here. Look at this. It says John Lennon of the Beatles. Well, yes.